A very warm welcome this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the title of this session, a new batch of labels for the city missions, and we're going to get straight into it by welcoming Commissioner Ileana Ivanova to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and it is my great pleasure to announce today the awards for the 23 cities with the city's mission label. The mission on climate neutral and smart cities is one of the 5 EU missions under Horizon Europe that offer tangible solutions to some of the greatest societal challenges rooted in research and innovation. Cities account for more than 70% of global CO2 emissions and consume over 65% of the world's energy. And the city's mission supports cities with the green transformations that are needed to make them climate neutral. In April 2022, 100 cities in the EU and 12 cities in the countries associated to Horizon Europe were selected to join the city's mission. These 100 EU cities are on their way to reducing greenhouse gas emissions by nearly 200 million tons of CO2 equivalent, which amounts to the total annual emissions of the Netherlands and Croatia combined. Today's award of the mission label is a very important milestone. It certifies that these cities have mobilized stakeholders, including citizens, to put together a climate city contract. This includes their climate neutrality plans with an action plan and an investment strategy. Dear mayors and city representatives, today we acknowledge your very hard work and commitment to make your cities climate neutral. You worked across departments in the city administration. You got business players, citizens on board. You found solutions to a number of challenges because you do believe in this necessity to deliver livable and sustainable cities to your citizens. In October 2023, we awarded the first group of the 10 European cities with the mission label for their plans to reach climate neutrality by 2030. Today, we are awarding the second group of 23 cities with the mission label. And they are Ioannina, Kalamata, Kozani, Thessaloniki from Greece, Heidelberg in Germany, Leuven in Belgium, Espoo, Lahti, Lappeenranta, Tampere and Turku in Finland, Barcelona and Seville in Spain, Pest in Hungary, Malmö in Sweden, Guimarães and Lisbon in Portugal, Florence and Parma in Italy, Marseille and Lyon in France, Limassol in Cyprus, and last but not least, Izmir in Turkey. Congratulations to you all for your great achievements. Now, what is next? You will need to transform your ambitious plans into concrete projects and find funding and finance for them. And we want to support you in that. Later this year, we will be launching a capital hub with 3 main objectives: to help you get your projects ready for investment, to offer you advice on the best financing solutions in cooperation with existing services such as offered by the European Investment Bank, and to connect you with investors. And I'm pleased to say that Vice President Teresa Czerwinska from the European Investment Bank is here today to talk about dedicated advisory support for mission cities that have received a mission label. Thank you for that. An advisory budget of nearly 19 million euros will be reserved inside the EIB for the cities that participate in the mission. And you will hear about this more very, very soon. Now, without further ado, it is my great pleasure to invite all of you, dear mayors and city representatives, up here at the stage for a celebratory photo. Please join me on stage.
Please come and join us. Thank you. Commissioner, if you would stand in the middle here, please. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And we're going to face in this direction. If we can form one line, please. And our photographer is going to be stood just there. That's great. Into the middle here. Thank you very much. All right, sir, would you like a stool? All good?
Congratulations very much.
Let's form one single line. We can go right to the side, no problem. A line, yeah, if you could. There's room at the other end as well.
But now you're
Just
here.
checking on the
Great to have
photo.
you.
We need 2 lines? Okay, we need 2 lines, please. Would those that are a little taller, like me, kindly step towards the back if we start in the middle here? Sir, would you like to come and join us here, sir, please? Thank you. That's fine. How are we doing there on the width? We good? All right. All right, let's have some more animated shots of this. We are winners! Cheese! Gay! Fantastic. We're all good. If you could kindly take your seats again, we'd much appreciate that. With the exception, if I may, of Patrick and your panelists. Please stay with us. Thank you. All right, and let's have a little video. Again, hearty congratulations, and I would like to hand over now to the city's mission manager at the European Commission, Patrick Child.
Well, thank you very much, and very happy to be here, and congratulations to all the cities for the huge progress that has been made and for the real achievement that represents the work on your Climate City contract and the mission label that the Commissioner has just presented. And it's my pleasure now to animate, I hope, what's going to be a lively discussion with the 4 panelists here. We have, as the Commissioner announced, Vice President Teresa Czerwinska from the European Investment Bank, a very, very treasured partnership that we've been developing with the bank on the work we've been doing around the mission. We have Marie Donnet, who's Director from the Recovery and Resilience Task Force in the European Commission, and who's responsible for delivering on the recovery and resilience post-COVID funding stream. So I hope she's going to give us a perspective on EU funding opportunities. And then we've got two of our mayors, and it was difficult to choose the two that we went for, but I'm delighted that Attila Petefri, the mayor of Pécs in Hungary, and also Michele Guerrera, mayor of Parma in Italy, have agreed to join us. And so I want to kick things off perhaps with a first couple of questions to Teresa. I mean, firstly, if you could just say a word or two about how the European Investment Bank sees the progress that cities in the mission are making. And then more specifically, the 19 million top-up that we heard the Commissioner announce a minute ago for the advisory services that you've been providing for us. What in practical terms does that bring for the cities that we have here represented?
So thank you for the questions. First of all, I would like to say that it's a great pleasure to be here today with you, with Commissioner and Patrick as the head of mission. And we are delighted as the European Investment Bank to partner you in this endeavor. I also would like to congratulate 23 mission cities for the decision to join us in this endeavor, and also thank you very much for your ambitious and great leadership has been shown in your investment plans. As the European Investment Bank, the EU Climate Bank, we are fully committed to two goals, green and digital transition. And this very mission, this program is exactly about green and digital, because smart is also digital. And as a first international financial institution, EIB was the first one who announced the Climate Bank roadmap, and also we aligned our activity fully with the Paris Agreement. We have been committed to the plan since the very beginning, and our contribution so far was to support the cities with the assessment of investment plans based on very good collaboration with the Commission and with the mission cities. We're delighted to announce today that we have been open a new chapter with the Commission, which is top up. 19 million euros is a huge amount of money to be dedicated to the advisory support, and we appreciate it very, very much because it's very special. So today we are talking not only about financing, but financing dedicated to the advisory support. And it basically means, to answer the question, how turn very ambitious investment plans into bankable projects. We appreciate very much the approach has been taken by the cities and the Commission in this mission, namely to prepare very comprehensive, very strategic plans, and also move step by step into direction to become fully climate neutral and till 2030. And perhaps I can say one sentence more. What advisory is about. Advisory is about turning action plan into bankable projects, but to be very detailed, it is to support cities to prepare energy audit, to prepare procurement procedures and processes, and prepare legal procedures and documentation, which is very important to attract also private sector. And it is exactly the point. So we see the program, the mission, as a very important step forward to attract private capital to the mission, because obviously public resources are limited, you know it very well, so we need both public and private sector, and we appreciate very much the top-up which will support to attract private capital to the program. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Teresa. And I should also thank you and your team for all the hard work that you've been doing with us in working through the Climate City contracts, particularly the investment plan part. Because I think that if we're now in a position to give this label, this vote of confidence to the cities, it sends a very powerful message that we've also got, strong engagement from the bank around the work that we've been doing together. Now I'd like to turn to Marie. As I said, Marie, Director in the Commission Department responsible for managing, delivering the Recovery Resilience Facility, the post-COVID recovery funds. Perhaps just to say a word or two about the opportunities that you see either from the RRF or from EU funding directly for the cities which are getting the label today and the others too.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you for the invitation. It's an honor to be here and meet some of the beneficiaries of the RRF, indeed, because there is a lot of money from the RRF that directly is injected in cities. So maybe indeed a couple of words on what the Recovery Resilience Facility does. As Patrick said, it's an answer to the COVID pandemic. It was established in 21, but beyond the recovery and the direct support to buffer the shock of the pandemic, a lot of the RRF is really about resilience and preparing for the future, preparing for the green transition, the digital transition, a lot of attention to social and territorial cohesion. There are many pillars in the RRF, but certainly those three are also at the core of the objectives and priorities of the cities. Now, as you may know, there is in the RRF close to 700 billion that have been allocated to all member states when they submitted a plan, the Recovery and Resilience Plan. And this money through loans and grants is then going to the member states for the implementation of their plan. The RRF is a unique tool. It's very powerful, unprecedented in European history. It's also bound in time. It will end at the end of 2026. So certainly one first message I would like to convey to you today is that the speed of implementation in the RRF is also very, very important. And we are now halfway in implementation, and it's really, really key to keep the pace. As we speak, as of beginning of February this year, we have disbursed already more than 225 billion to the member states, some of which has hopefully found its way to you in the cities because you are very important implementing partners in this plan. So if you want to know a bit more about where we are, I would invite you to look at the midterm evaluation we just published with all the impact everywhere, good overview for every member state and what it means. Now, maybe a bit more concretely what it means for cities. Some of you, many of you, maybe you are in the room today, have prepared with the national authorities a plan dedicated to green transition, green technologies, greening of your cities, or digital transition. And you have indeed designed a measure with some milestones and targets and a clear timeline of implementation. And when this is fulfilled, because it's a performance-based instrument, we are then disbursing the money. I mentioned already some of those relevant area of reform for the cities. Let me give you also some figures. For example, in terms of energy efficiency and renovation, and some of this is of course very concrete in your cities, we have in total for all member states in that plan 92 billion. For example, also for sustainable mobility and urban mobility, there is more than 80 billion. We have also in the area of digital close to 50 billion foreseen for digitalization of services, administration, including in cities, and also, for example, close to 25 billion dedicated to helping businesses and SMEs to make the digital step. We have also, you may know, a very useful and very pictorial map of all the projects. So you go on the RRF website, there's a map of the entire Europe, you zoom in, you go to your country, you zoom in, you go to your region, your city, and for all the plans and measures that are currently being implemented, you will find a presentation of the project. I'll mention a couple of them very quickly because I know my speaking time is limited. We have many projects in transport service and urban agenda for the greening and cleaning of the city in Spain. We have, for example, in Bulgaria, in Sofia, a very big project for the subway with the full financing of a new subway line. Also in France, in Paris and Toulouse, very important infrastructure project. In Poland, there is a very big project on green transformation on cities. In Cyprus, the Smart City National Master Plan is looking at smart parking, smart lighting, smart waste collection. So all this is very concrete to cities. Also in Czechia, we have big projects on G5 city network and investment for connection infrastructure, but also the use of digital in all kind of very concrete city implementation, again, parking, lighting, waste and recycling management. So I'll stop here, and I'm looking forward to hear maybe from you what happens in your cities. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed, Marie, and I think you make some really important points. I mean, firstly, that there is a huge amount of money available, but also the importance of working closely with national authorities, given the way the governance of the RRF works, but also the sense of urgency. I mean, the cities are committed to meeting the climate neutrality objective by 2030, and that means that the sort of fast deployment sort of funds that are potentially out there, and the very convincing list of examples where cities are already benefiting. So that's really great, but enough perhaps from me. I now want to turn indeed to our guests, the mayors. And firstly, Attila Petefri, Mayor of Pécs in Hungary. So can you sort of perhaps say a word or two about what getting the mission label means for you today, and how it helps you in sort of the future plans? And then if you want to comment on what you've heard about the funding issues from either our colleagues from the EIB or from the Commission.
Thank you very much. First of all, on behalf of Pécs, the city of Pécs, I would like to thank Commissioner and for you and the European Commission for this mission label award. It's a great pleasure and honor for us to be here and celebrate with each of you. And answering the question, maybe only some of you know that Pécs is a city with 2,000 years age, and we have, I would say, we became a bishopric city in 1009, and later in 1376, the very first Hungarian university was established in the city. Later, in the 18th and 19th century, a lot of local coal mines were open around the city, and as a result of this, plus some uranium ore mines, Pécs became the city of the heavy industry in Hungary, which collapsed suddenly. And since then, I would say we have been facing with the problem that many young people are just leaving the city. So our biggest mission to convince them to stay or to move back from, for example, Budapest, and to settle a family here in the city. And that's why this mission and this award means a huge, I would say, possibility for us to convince these youngsters to stay, and it's a big opportunity for us to, I would say, transform this city even more viable for them, for the future, for the kids and for the children. And why is it important for us? I think it's quite natural, and maybe this problem can concern all of you. But in our case, we would like to focus on the transformation of the energy production from fossil-based ones into renewable, sustainable power plant solutions. The same solution for the district heat production. And I would say, if I would like to highlight one issue from Pécs, I think it's a good example for everyone. Roughly in 2000, the municipality and the owner of the local power plant made a long-term contract. It's more than 22 years old. And based on this long-term contract, the owner of the power plant decided to switch from coal to biomass. And as a result of this, I guess in Hungary for sure, Pécs is the only one city where the district heating is provided on almost 100% of renewable energy sources. And I guess it's a strong point of Pécs. That's why I can be here and I can say, I can tell you some good examples. And the other issue, we would like to focus on the hydrogen technology in Pécs. Fortunately, we have a strong university in Pécs who are quite equipped with technical solutions, how to model and how to measure, I would say, the efficiency and effectivity of hydrogen-driven vehicles and equipment as well. So this is, I would say, the very first report from Pécs.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And I think you raised some really important points. I mean, firstly, about the importance of the socio-economic and the sort of just transition, you know, and really addressing, if we can, through the mission, some of the very direct concerns of our citizens. And I think that's a really important point. But also the example you bring of the sort of transition from the sort of coal area, the heavy industry, into a modern and vibrant city which is able to respond to the very ambitious goals of the mission. So congratulations on what you've achieved so far, and we look forward to working with you some more.
Thank you.
But I now want to turn to Michele Guerra, Mayor of Parma in Italy, and perhaps just to address the same couple of questions. You know, what does getting the mission label today mean for you and for the city of Parma? And you know, what messages do you have for us in the Commission or for the European Investment Bank about how, you know, you would like to see us, you know, further working together to realize the goals that we share?
And thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say that it is really an honor and an emotion to be here with you in this important and collective moment to reaffirm our engagement and also our ambition in this project and in this transition. The mission means very much for our town, for our city, because we involved a lot of players, a lot of stakeholders, both public and private. I share your opinion. It's very important to involve the private companies. Parma made really a great work in this direction. We have 46 signatories in our Climate City contract, and the vast majority of it is private signatories. And I think this is relevant because we have to work with them if we want to manage and to join the goals of this transition. Also, it is important to create a moment of sharing with the citizens, because we have to work on the daily behaviors of our citizens. And I think this is the most difficult part of our project, because we have in our province a lot of companies sensitive to this kind of goals. We have big benefit corporations, we have public institutions which are already working on the right way to the green and digital transition, but we have to insist on the daily behavior of our citizens. And we are organizing workshops, we are organizing many events to create this awareness in our community, because this consciousness, this awareness is what could really change the approach to the transition. And Parma right now is candidated also to European Youth Capital for the year 2027. And this is very important for us, because young people is already on this way for the transition. They are European inside, they are native European, and this is a crucial element, because we need them, I agree with you, to create the right conditions for this transition. Parma is working on 5 sectors. One of these sectors is very important for our land, and it is the sector of agriculture and food, because Parma is in Italy the capital of the food valley, and we have a lot of investment in this sector, and we have to work on these food policies and agricultural policies to really make this transition possible. Keeping together the green and the digital, because this is another very important aspect. The investment in our Climate City contract is about 5 billion of euros, so it is a very ambitious investment, and now we need to have the right tools to create the conditions to make concrete and tangible what is written inside the Climate City contract. And this is the only thing I would like to ask to the Commission and to the group of work, because we have to share these tools city by city to understand how give this concrete aspect to what we, with a lot of engagement, put inside our Climate City contract.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I think we've heard a lot of things to think about today. And in particular, I wanted, before we finish, to pay tribute to the work of the Net Zero Cities Consortium, which is working with us to support the cities with the city advisors, and the very exciting new developments around the Capital Hub, which the Commissioner mentioned earlier, which we hope to be able to share, also working very much in partnership with the European Investment Bank. I think that we are really setting out to transform the very specific and really quite mature project proposals which you've now managed to develop in the Climate City contracts into operational and successful projects on the ground. So we're very much excited about all of that. I mean, I also make it one other sort of final point, that the work that you're all doing on the Climate City contracts is enabling us to get a good sense of what the global demand for some of the new green and digital technologies that we are going to need in order to achieve climate neutrality. And so, based on now, we've got 33 cities who have got the label, who've completed the work on the Climate City contract. And if we look across those plans, of course, each city is in its own different situation, but the global aggregate demand for new investment, we put at something like 650 billion euros for the 112 cities taken together, broken down between, of course, mobility, which is the single largest element, on average 1.4 billion euros per city on clean mobility, 1 billion on buildings, another billion per city on modernizing the energy system, and then the other things that go with it. And there, as Deputy Director General of DG Environment, I'm also delighted to hear more and more the cities talking about the way that their climate strategies are joining up with broader environmental objectives, greening of the city environment, cleaner air, better treatment of wastewater, improving the quality of life for our citizens. Because it's, I think, with that sort of broader context, that broader presentation, that we're also able to carry people with us in I guess, what is going to be quite a challenging journey in terms of the changes in lifestyle that the journey to climate neutrality is going to bring. So I want just to conclude in a moment, but I want to give our speakers just one opportunity for one sentence of what they take away from this discussion, and the sort of message that you would want to give to the cities who are represented here about the sort of the journey ahead in transforming the Climate City contract and the label into a real strategy to deliver climate neutrality by 2030. And I start perhaps with you, Teresa.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very short message from European Investment Bank. We are very happy that we see a lot of familiar faces today in the audience. We know you quite well because some of the cities are already our clients or partners. So just keep your determination, because 2030 is around the corner. So we invite you very much for advisory service and also for closer cooperation with the programs. And I just, you have solid, reliable partner. Only last year, EIB has lent 88 billion euros outside and inside the EU. So our financial capacity, our quality stamp to your project is something which is really a right step into your success. Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa. Marie, a short message.
Short message. I'll repeat again that from our perspective, from the RRF perspective, now is really high time for implementation and keep the momentum of implementation. For some of you who are in contact with the national authorities and have something in the plan, You know, it's really important to move forward and make sure we manage to spend all the money before the end of the program. It's true that our main entry point in a country is the national authority, but we really are encouraging also contact with all stakeholders, the cities and the region, so don't hesitate to reach out to us directly, but also via your national authorities and put forward your projects.
Thanks, Marie. And to our mayors, Attila.
Yes, a short message. I will propose for all of you that take the chance and give this opportunity, because with the help of this solution you can transform your whole society and you can provide a long-term vision for your city. And another short message for you, as I'm from Hungary, which is a quite special country, I think, among the other ones. So because of the due to the political debates, I'm not sure that Pécs will be in the position to call the RRF financial resources. My short message for you, please try to assess the situation, how Pécs can be directly financed in this situation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt. And finally,
My short message is a small example. Parma is building a new stadium for the football local team. And when I met the property, I saw them. So we are working on the mission for climate neutrality by 2030. Why we don't make the new stadium the biggest energy community of the city? And now the Stadium of Parma is becoming the biggest energy community of the city, thanks to the mission and thanks to this sharing with the property. So this is just an example to say to all the cities that we have the chance to do that thanks to this kind of mission and thanks to this kind of commitment and involvement of different parts in our cities. Thank you very much.
Well, Michele. Thank you very much for that very, very direct example. And of course, we hope that being part of the mission will also help the Parma football team succeed in its future competition. But look, I think we're running out of time for this panel, so I just want to draw things to a close by thanking very warmly again our four panelists, and also congratulating once again the cities, the 23 cities who are represented here today on an amazing achievement, and we're looking forward to helping you deliver. So big round of applause. Huh?
Big round of applause for our panel. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the transition from this morning's block around a greener life in Europe. This afternoon, we're going to be focusing on a fairer life in Europe. We have at 2 p.m. here in the plenary, improving the quality of life of young cancer survivors. And shortly after, boosting mental health, the power of arts and culture, a rich program in the afternoon. But now it's time for lunch. Thank you very much.